You realize now that there's like 8 million people out there trying to have children and they're not successful at it. You know, there's all kind of reasons for that. But actually those 8 million don't even count the gay couples that are looking for children. And also, you know, single people that want children now too. So that's why there's a big boom in the having baby industries. And actually the adoption industry is booming. And also the vitro fertilization. So people have trouble having their own children. There are procedures now, you know, to help you do that. However, both the the adoption and things like vitro fertilization are expensive as hell, you know, and they're not covered by insurance. Usually people that are looking for these things, adoption could run up to $40,000, and that's just on domestic adoption, you know? And these treatments could go up to like $12,000 per treatment. Okay, so where are you going to get this money? Well, now there's new ways to get this money, and that's right. Really, there's unlimited funding for this. You know, but it's in alternative sources. You know, crowdfunding now has become a hot place for people to pay for adoptions or vitro fertilization. I'll say that right by the end of doing this segment, I hope. Yeah, and that's what people are doing. You know, and that's right. See, on these kinds of ways to get money, I mean, this is money you don't have to pay back. It's like grants or whatever. But unlike grants, which is usually people giving out grants of a certain amount of money, see, on crowdfunding, it's unlimited. You know, it just depends on how good you are at letting people know that you're looking for this money. Look at what one crowdfunding site called GoFundMe has done recently. You know, like this just last year, they had 13,000 people last year alone looking for funding for adoptions, right? I'm sorry, that's not for adoptions, that's vitro fertilization. So 13,000 for vitro fertilization and almost 30,000 for adoption. Wow, that's just on one website alone, you know. And look at the years that they go by. I mean, it's growing every year, man. It started out in 2012, you know, at 1,300 for the vitro fertilization and 2,000 for the adoption. So that 2,000 or 2,500 went up to 27,000, and the 1,300 went up to 13,000. So they're giving like just on that one crowdfunding site alone, $6 million, $8 million, $9 million from that one site. Wow, you know, and that's what's so neat about it. It's not as complicated as filling out grant applications and things like that, but they are. You have to know the system, but it's easy. The only way you're going to learn that system is by trying it and doing it. You know, so if you're looking for a baby and how to do this, you know, this is what it's all about, using these new forms. You know, and it's amazing how these are non-traditional. See, everybody's looking for money in the old ways. They're going to banks, they're going to borrowing money, having friends and family lend money, well, and that you're going to pay back. But here in crowdfunding, it's a whole new game, you know. And there's more than one kind of site that will do those things. Now, I covered a whole lot of sites in the last couple of years, crowdfunding sites. So here's other sites that you could do, like the big ones. Like everybody probably heard of Kickstarter. You know, well, I can't find any programs for that. They don't do a whole lot of personal funding, but GoFundMe does, and it's very simple to set up. Like I say, you know, and even if you set it up and you fail, what the heck? You know, then you try again. You have nothing to lose by doing this. Well, here's other sites that we'll get, and then what you want to do when looking these sites, find a site, you know, talk to them, and see how much they'll help you themselves. Because a lot of times the smaller sites have more personal help to give you. They have time for that. These big sites are making so much money, they don't have time, and they rely on you to do everything. So Fundraiser, FUNDRAZR.com, and we have a video of them. If you want to see the person who runs that thing, we have a video of them and how you could use their site for this. Or GiveForwardcom. This is another site that works on personal family needs. And they're really a great couple. I think they're the leader in this personal kind of crowdfunding, and we have a video of them. And then also YouCaringcom. That's a website that takes 0% of the money. That's right, 0%. Again, you go on these websites and you fill out a form, you do a little video or pictures or whatever you think that'll work, and if it doesn't, you go back and try something else again. Or how about mycause.com.au? Yeah. And see, that's another thing. These are all people. Okay, right here you could see those videos. You can click through and see those videos, or find them on our website, or mycause.com.au. Okay, did I say that already? I don't know. Well, there it is again. Okay, or causewish.com. causewish.com. Have a person there who, and see, when you see that interview with that person, you see, man, he wants to almost help one-on-one to you learners. So he's seen so many people come and go or whatever and try and fail what they do. So these are nice, these smaller websites to learn the system. Or Cause to Fund it is another one. A small site that helps people and would help things like that. Or actually IndieGoGo, which is a big one for filmmakers and people want to start business. They have a separate division now called generosity.com. We don't have an interview for them, but you could click through them and see that. So that's right, it's these things that are available, alternative sources of money. And actually, if you're looking for adoption money, here's some organizations I found that will help you. There's a website here, adoptionhelp.org, and in there they have financial aid programs. So this is a nonprofit organization that helps people with adoption, and you see the list of grants that are out there. So these are limited amounts of money, not like crowdfunding, which is unlimited. Here what you have is X amount of dollars that are available this year, and that's all they're going to give out if 10 people apply or 1,000 apply. But you never know where you get the money from. So the name of the game is you apply everywhere. Look at this. Help to Adopt. Foundations, that's a foundation. Help Us Adopt. Another foundation, Adopt America Network. They have grant money. A Child Waits Foundation, grant money again. Here's one, Gift of Adoption Fund, from $3,500 to $7,500 to help you with the adoption. Jewish Free Loan Association, interest-free loans. National Adoption Foundation. That was a bad slip, doesn't it? Waiting Child Revolving Loan Program. So there's an organization that lends for people who want to adopt. Here, $1,000 grant for families in North Carolina. Here's another grant money. Up to 20 people annually get $5,000. Or travel. Delta Airlines offers fair discounts for international adoptions. See, I didn't know that. I guess I haven't adopted. Maybe if I did. Government programs, adoption assistance programs. Adoption tax credit. So tax credit, though, you get up to $15,000, but you got to make money. You have to be paying taxes to get a tax credit. So it's not the same as a grant. If you're paying a lot of taxes, it is. Military active duty grants. Non-recurring adoption assistance, $400. Corporations that give it this kind of money out. There's something called adopt.org. Tax credits and tax deductions. Military families have separate adoptions. Okay. Also for the Vitro Fertilization, there's a lot of grants. Now resolve.org, they're involved with family kind of issues or whatever, and they have a listing there of grant sources and scholarships for these treatments. In others, these are treatments for vitro fertilization. It costs like $15,000 or $12,000 a pop. And it may work or may not, and you have to go again. Another $12,000. So there's a listing on their website of the people that give out grants and scholarships for this kind of stuff. Baby Quest. That corporation, babyquestfoundation.org. So you get up to $16,000 there. Here's one, CADE foundation.org, and they have up to $10,000 there. Pay It Forward. Fertility.org. So payitforwardfertility.org. That's another source there. These are programs that, they're not advertised. It's going to hard to find in Google. You search around a lot, but the most important thing is that, God, you ask those questions. So now you can start looking for grants. Now you start looking for crowdfunding. See, if you just put adoption, man, you're just going to get millions of websites, and who the heck knows what you're going to get, But, you don't have time to search millions of websites. So here are the best starting places to start finding that money, and tell your friends. You must know somebody who's trying that baby. There's 8 to 10 million people out there who are trying. So let them know about the alternative sources of money.